Today on Riffs, Beards, and Gear, we check out the Rhino guitar amp sim from AuroraDSP. In the past year, it seems like guitar amp sims have just exploded, and the tough thing for everybody really is wading through which ones work best for them. And a lot of times, most of those amp sims are recreating digital versions of real life amplifiers, which is great. That's awesome. I use those. I love those as well. Well, AuroraDSP is kind of going the other way with the Rhino guitar amp sim. Now, before we go any further, this is a sponsored video as AuroraDSP have asked me to show you the Rhino guitar amp sim, but as usual, all thoughts and opinions are mine. So what is the Rhino guitar amp sim plugin? Well, this is a guitar amp plugin that is not based on any particular amp. Instead, this modular design offers you 7 sections with which to shape your tone how you want it. And really, this is less of a guitar amp sim and more of a complete signal chain. I think that's an important distinction between this and something like, AuroraDSP's Gojira plugin, just as an example. So in sticking with the thought of the Rhino being a complete signal chain, it offers everything within the plugin itself. And right now we're going to take a listen to the Rhino in the context of a mix. And I want you to keep in mind that I have done no post-processing on the guitar tone. All of the guitar tone was done inside Rhino. And we will go into how I got that guitar tone, and then I'm going to plug in a guitar, and we're just going to kind of go through it a little bit. But right now, here is Rhino in the context of a mix. Okay, so we got the full mix out of the way. Let's dive in a little bit into the Rhino guitar amp sim. So I have my PRS Tremonti plugged straight into my Universal Audio Apollo X8 interface. This is the patch that I used. I used a different guitar, obviously, but this is the patch that I came up with for my guitar tone. Okay, it's throaty. There's a good amount of mids to it. It's not too scooped, and it's also not too gained out either. So here we are in the Rhino. This is, you can see that there are 7 different modules here, and the signal flow is basically, first we have our input block, and these little arrows mean that we can expand these. So we're gonna go ahead and expand this, for example. We can goose our input. We can automatically add a high pass filter to the input. This is especially handy for, extended range guitars or something like that. For a regular drop C sharp 6-string PRS, not really needed, and it's not really doing much. But if I was to really crank this up, you would hear an immediate difference. You can think of this filter as a tightness filter if you'd like, but it's there for your choosing. We also have a built-in noise gate, which I love. It's fast, it's transparent. I'll turn this off, and you can hear the noise. You can hear my hands moving the strings. Turn it back on. You don't hear any of that. I love this. Also, we have flavors. We have a smooth, normal, and hot if you want to goose it a little bit. This is a subtle thing, and I don't know if you can even hear this over, you know, the compression of YouTube, but it is there. So let's close this back out. Let's go into the preamp section. Now, in the preamp, we have our low, mid, treble down here. Now, we also have a couple of different drive options. We have Scream, Tube Screamer, Brute. Brute's, again, I think this is really meant for extended range stuff, but let's try it out. It's crunchy, and that's cool. There's a time and a place for that tone for sure. Not really what I'm looking for right now. And there's also fuzz, which I love. I'm gonna turn this amount up to 10. There's also a compressor, which is push, which I love. I'm gonna turn that back off. I'm gonna turn on Scream again. There are also these are different starting points for your preamp. So for example, we have Fire, we have Headroom, we have Boost, and we have Bright. I like the Headroom. That's where I landed, but your mileage may vary depending on your situation and your guitar. Included high pass and low pass filters. I especially like this because guitars like this Tremonti have a lot of top end. So in this preamp section, I could cut off some top end and I could also cut off some low end while I'm at it. Pretty cool. A lot of shaping going on in the preamp section, but there's more. Now let's move on to the EQ section. This EQ section gives you 4 different bands to do with whatever you want. There is also a gain or an EQ match feature, which we're not going to do right now. But this allows you to fine tune your tone. I love that low end. It's not boomy, it's not thuddy, but it adds some body to it. This particular one, I have some dips in the low mids and I'm taking out some of the honkiness. I'll show you on, let's see, this is a 708 kilohertz, or hertz rather. Taking out some whole. And I have a low pass going on up here in the top end. But if I didn't want to do that, I could select any of these EQ options on how I want to deal with my particular situation. That's the EQ section. So next we're going to go into effects. We have flanger, chorus, phaser. These are the modulation effects. Cool. I could definitely see automating this feature. I really like the phaser. The phaser sounds really good. Next, we have time-based effects. We have our delay and our reverb. Mix up. You could get pretty nutty with that pretty quick. I'm going to turn off the delay. Let's go to some reverb. If I want, I could load my own, you could load some IRs. Oh, these are some included IRs. I like that. Deep Hall. Let's crank this up a little bit. Cool. That could get pretty nutty pretty fast. So next, let's go to the power and IR section. This is the power amp section. I can load up to 4 different IRs and then mix between them however I want. Check this out. And I like the different, I could just choose these different options, these different voicings. Some of them are for clean. I can come to the rhythm and it's going to choose these that are best suited for rhythm, and then I can blend between them. I can also load my own IRs if I want. I can also voice this for live. It's gonna scoop it out a little bit. I like to keep it on flat. Also, there's presence, resonance, and hot. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, so last but not least is the output section. There is a limiter, there is overall output, and then there's the tightness. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that on. I'm gonna leave that off. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I haven't even scratched the surface of Rhino, honestly, because I didn't really do any clean tones either. Actually, you can consider all of this clean tone. I've done clean tones this whole time. Let's see. Turn the drive down, maybe add some phaser and some reverb. Actually, you know what? I should start doing some presets. Ambient clean. Ooh, that's loud. We're gonna turn that down. Okay, so Aurora DSP, Rhino, amazing. This whole thing costs 50 bucks. Honestly, how can you beat that? I focused on the gain tones because I think those are the hardest to do well in the digital realm, and Rhino does it. It does it so well. It's so awesome. 50 bucks. This is so good. It's modular. You can do anything you want within the plugin. No post-processing needed of any kind. Pretty cool. I will link down below in the description if you would like more information on Aurora DSP's Rhino guitar amp sim. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you liked the video you just watched, please consider subscribing. And if you want to further support me and what I do, consider using some of the affiliate links down below in the description of this video. Go on over to Sweetwater, buy yourself something, and help me out at the same time. It's a win-win for both of us.